Hi, it's TJ. Today I want to talk about how to survive World War III. Because the society nowadays, everything has been going on, and then there's a lot of wars, there's a lot of conflicts between nations. So we're gonna be honest and truthful about it. There is a possibility of within our lifetime, the war is gonna break out, and within our lifetime, everything we come to know as the norm, the social media, the nice family-friendly message that we'll be receiving, the nice home we'll be staying in, the cleanliness of the city is gonna be away. It's gonna be over. There's always gonna be a possibility that everything we come to know is no longer gonna be the case. So I'm gonna be truthful with you. There is a likelihood of having a world war. In case that happens, we're gonna be prepared for this. Okay? So one of the best way I think people have to prepare for something like a world war is to actually build mental toughness. So just think about this. Our ancestors, not even really far ancestors, just think about your grandpa, right? Your grandfather. Just think about the kind of mindset he has growing up at the age of post-World War II, and then growing up in an age that still has some unresolved conflict within the atmosphere with Cold War and a lot of things on the back of his mind. Now he is going forward in his life with a positive mindset, of course, but subconsciously, people in our grandpa's generation always focus on what could potentially go wrong, and they're reacting immediately towards these bad things that might happen in their life. So a good thing is just think about what kind of mindset they will have and just compare them to us. Today, our generation, my generation specifically, we are living in such a privileged world. I think this is the data. We are individually way more wealthy than the royalties 200 years ago. Just think about this. So the people that dominated the world 200 years ago, the French, the British, now their royalty actually doesn't live as privileged of a life as us living today. We have infinite access to good food, cheap grocery food, and then we have infinite access to internet, electricity, and clean toilet. That's some of the things that people from 200 years ago couldn't even dream of. So our society has been accelerating in such a fast pace that these we have taken granted for. Now this is very interesting because our grandpa's generations, they didn't have all that. My grandpa is Chinese. He living like a Chinese city, like around that age. And then there are famine. There are a lot of bad things that happen that could potentially kill every single person there. They have lots of brothers and sisters, and some of them died just because famine, and then a lot of adversities in the year at that time. So just think about this. Nowadays, we don't even think about this kind of things. But it could happen. If World War III break out, you are not going to be ready if you are just sitting at home watching YouTube, watching television, watching Netflix, and having a best time of your life. You're not going to be able to have mental toughness that maintain you through this conflict. Now, the beauty of this is you can try and practice mental toughness. So essentially, like learning any skill, practice is the most important part. Learning about it, reading about it, listening about it is not important at all. Because knowledge nowadays is so easily accessible that every single person with access to internet and understanding the language or understanding the written language can and will be able to receive the knowledge that you're receiving right now. But the difference you're about to make is you're going out there and doing the practice. So here's some of the activities you can try. There's obviously a lot of ways to practice mental toughness by just constantly doing hard things. So one of the hard things you can do is maybe make your shower a little bit colder every night, before you go to sleep, or if you take shower in the morning, just make your shower just a little bit colder, just a little bit more challenging for you. And try to do a little bit harder exercise every single day. I know like a lot of people like go to gym and work out because they want to look fit, they want to be fit, they want to feel the physical strength in their body. But another good part of it is it can build your mental toughness. By adding some kind of resistance to every single training, making every single training slightly harder than the one before, or try training in slightly different ways that challenge your body and your mind. This will actually build mental toughness too, because you know that you're doing harder things constantly, every single day. You're doing slightly harder things. And this compound interest later on, compound effect, will make your life just so much more different than the one you're living right now. Because you're constantly pursuing discomfort. You're constantly going out there and try things that you wouldn't normally do. Another way to challenge yourself to build mental toughness is just go out. If you're a really shy person, this will work specifically good for you. Just go out and socially interact with other people. Every single day, you meet so many new people in your life, in your daily life. Just try to talk to some of them and get to know them a little bit better. Offer a smile to a stranger, offer to help when someone needs help on the street. This will make you go out of your comfort zone, and then this will make you build your mental toughness a lot better. So these are just a few ways that on top of my mind I have. There's so many, literally in any single aspect of your entire life, you can find a way to challenge yourself. And this is not a very hard thing to do for generations before, because they have been programmed, because their life is constantly facing adversity. I think about like someone from Syria. They came from war, right? Now they moved to maybe a better country like Canada, US. The part of the life that they're having during the war is constantly staying inside of their mind. They remember what it was like to go through that kind of hardship. So when they're in a better country, when they're living a better lifestyle, they're not going to forget that. Partially, at least it will constantly remind them of how to grind better. So that's an example of someone that has a better mental toughness doing better in the real life situation like today. And in case a war happen, the second point I want to make is save money. I know it sounds really somewhat funny for me to say to save money, because not everyone is making enough to have a lot of savings, but you can always try. You can always try to save a little bit, to spend less on things that doesn't need to happen. Read the book Essentialism. This is a very interesting book that I recently read and kind of like changed the way I view the world. I used to know that pursuing a way of essentialism is good, but I didn't know as much as the book taught me. So essentially, you need to eliminate unnecessary cost in your life as well, in a financial sense. There's a lot of things that you don't consider that are useless. Just think about this. So I used to have a Netflix subscription, Amazon Prime subscription, Disney Plus subscription, so all kinds of subscriptions to video streaming platforms, right? And then when I re-evaluate how important, how much value they're adding to my life, it's not that much. But they're taking a bunch of money from me every single month. So I'm trying to eliminate that. To give you an example, now I have YouTube Premium, which includes a music streaming service. So now I cancel my Spotify because I no longer need another extra music streaming service that takes only $4 per month from me. But that $4 per month it's not essential, so I should eliminate it. So some of these costs you can slowly cut off from your life. And also like major spend of your money, major cost of your money is eating out, right? I'm trying to limit my time eating out because I realize cooking is so much cheaper, and then I can save some time by just prepping really easy to make food. So a lot of people's complaint about cooking is, why do I need to cook? Because cooking takes so much time. And if I value my time on my life at $50 per hour, then if I spend half an hour cooking, then they will be spending $25, which will be way more than what I pay in restaurants. So they're asking, why is cooking valuable? So my point is, there's always a way to speed it up, the cooking process. You can potentially find ways to cook very easy dish. Maybe I'll share some of them. One of them that I'm doing right now is to just cook eggs. So it literally takes 5 minutes to cook like 5 eggs or something or so. and then it will be a very nutritious dense high protein meal. And eggs are one of the most highest value protein out there among like chicken thigh and chicken breast. So yeah, definitely just try to eliminate cost in your life as much as possible and save money. Do not invest right now. Now it's not a good time because there is still a potential downside that's going to happen in the stock market. So if you want to invest, don't do it right now. And the housing market is still at a high point. Wait till it drop to invest in assets. And now I want you to put the money in your saving accounts. Because bad thing can happen. If World War II happens, you will lose your job. Most jobs will be lost actually, because we no longer need service industry. We no longer need a lot of extra industries that are cool to be there, but we don't have to have them in our society. So when a war happens, these industries will be eliminated immediately. Just think about your job. Is it within the industries that will be eliminated when the war happens? If so, you need to be very careful. You need to be saving a lot, so then you can maintain a certain standard of life, or at least survive the coming wars. So the third point I have for surviving World War III is try to build personal connections to the people around you. Now this is a very crazy point as well, because we think about our society like we live in mega cities. I live in Toronto, one of the biggest cities on planet Earth. Probably not so. Nothing compared to like New York and American cities, but it's one of the biggest mega cities in Toronto, in Canada at least. Now, a lot of people live in these big cities. They're meeting new people every single day. Maybe it's through their work, maybe it's through their social events, maybe it's through meetings through mutual friends. They're meeting so many new people every day. But are these connections really important? Are these connections gonna maintain through the tough times that's gonna come? Are these interactions gonna maintain through the entire lifetime? You need to build deep personal connections with people. Not just a handshake, not just a hug, not just a dab. You need to build personal connections with the people around you. And you need to make them part of your family. Because family is the highest bond. Family is higher than friendship. It's almost like, if you think about like tribal society, we're trying to build tribes. We're not trying to build like work friends that are only friends during work, and then after work you don't talk, you don't communicate, you don't live in close proximity. So those are not real friends in a very evolutionary standpoint. So you're trying to think about this, right? You're trying to reach through the people that you truly value. Now you put value upon these people, and then you think these people will be important for my life later on, and you see a future with them. Now you will approach them, of course, like a normal friend. But in the back of your mind, you need to remember, you need to build a deep connection, not just superficial ones, because superficial ones will not get you anywhere. What you really want is someone you can share your life experience with. It's someone that would be there for you in your hard times, and you will be there for them in their hard times. Hard times also important, because when they're dealing with a lot of stress and unprecedented situations, you need to be there to support them. So you will gain their trust and respect. And most importantly, you'll become almost a family figure with them. And in that sense, you'll be well-rounded. A lot of people nowadays living in mega cities, they don't live with their parents. Another thing is, their parents are far away, their relatives are far away. So they're trying to make these makeshift families. And that's what's important for them, because they will seek the emotional relationship with people around them. They can support them as a family. And that person could be you, could be me, right? We could integrate this into our family structure and invite people to join your tribe. So that's also important, because alone, you're not going to survive World War III. There's just no point. Because even if you have money, there are certain things that people wouldn't do for money. There are certain things that it's always better to have a social support network that always respond immediately when something bad goes down. So So these are the 3 points that I have so far for surviving World War III. Maybe I'll make another video about this because I think this is a very important topic. And at least within our lifetime, I think a hard time will at least happen. Maybe it's not next year, maybe it's not next month, but this kind of war is always looming. Our political struggles between countries and countries are not solved right now. There's a lot of intentions behind every move that these big countries are doing. And some of them are not afraid to fight. Unfortunately, some of them are in such shitty situations, they're not afraid to lose it all, to wait it all on a war. So I think we need to be positive with our lives, but we also need to see at the same time some of the potential difficulties that will happen, and then we need to prepare for those times. So the 3 point is save money, make deep, close friends. They're almost like your family. And third, which I think is the most important point, is build mental toughness, because you are eventually just only in your brain. So you need to build such a strong mind that it can fight through difficulties that are about to come. Alright, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.